So Uber's sending me reservations again. Scheduled rides, are they worth it? Well, I'm about to get into it. I'm going to show you guys how they work, if they're worth it, and when to do it, and which ones to take, because that makes a huge difference. So, like and subscribe, guys. I'm going to dive deep into scheduled rides, reserved trips, how they work, and what's the best way to do these things, just so you're prepared in the future when one comes across your way, because sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. It's been a while. Like and subscribe, guys. So, Uber reservations, are they worth it? Well, that's what I want to talk about. So you have different types of reservations. The ones I usually used to do, the ones I like the most, were the airport reservations. Now, I live farther from the airport, but when I get a late night reservation, means I'm driving around throughout the night, so I'm already working. That reservation at the end of the night is like a bonus, because now I've already made $100, $150, whatever, and then I got like a $50 reservation, 70, 100, whatever. And then even if it was going south, going to Palm Coast or something, it was great, and then get a good tip, that was a bonus. I would drive back empty, but I wouldn't be driving back too far. So that was about a year ago. Now they're a little bit different. I showed you the reservation earlier. It was like $35. I was going to the airport. It was a comfort reservation. Wasn't too bad. Wasn't too much traffic. It was a good time of day, so it was actually a pretty good ride, because normally if you just took a normal ride, it's not going to be as much as the reservation. They pay extra fee for the reservation, and I feel with the reservations they actually pay us more money. So that's why I tend to like the reservations. Now, the one thing about it is with reservations is you got to be on time, and you might have to wait. So that's the thing you got to be careful with, is you might have to wait some. Same way of picking up from the airport. When you pick up from the airport, they're going to have 35 minutes to grab their luggage, to get off the plane, and then that's when they start the ride. Usually when I'd find out they'd wait the full time, sometimes it could be like 45 minutes. Now their planes are tracked, so it can move from later in the evening to earlier. It doesn't, it's not always exactly what that time is. So that's what you got to be prepared for when you're accepting a reservation. But the good thing about a reservation is you can schedule around it. You can stop and go do something, know you got to be there. You can drive around and make some money, still have that as a backup, like I know I'm going to make that plus whatever they tip me, and then whatever you make before then. So that's the good thing about the reservations. That's why I like the reservations. Now, if you got short reservations that pop up for $8, $7, I'm not doing them. I don't care for it. I really like the airport ones better, because usually you're going to get a tip with them. Now, that doesn't mean you always will. Sometimes you won't. Sometimes that tip won't come till later on, because they only use it when they go to the airport, so they're not going to think about it. They don't tip you in the car. It's not going to show up till the next time they open that app. Next time it prompts them to rate you and to give you a tip. So that's why you got to be patient with it. I like reservations because they're kind of a boost. Now, I have had, with reservations, I've had people start a reservation. I get to the airport, I don't see them, they never get in the car, and I had to cancel the reservation. I didn't get paid for it. So you have to be careful of that. Now, sometimes when you pull up for that reservation, when they start the ride, which means if they start that ride, they know you're there, and they're there getting either in another vehicle if they start it and don't show up, or they're doing something, because maybe they took a lift that was cheaper. I don't know. They didn't want to pay the cancellation fee. So be careful of stuff like that. Now, I've had people order a ride for their kids or somebody else, their mom, whatever. So if you don't see that little blue person sitting there, text them. And if they message you and say, oh, they'll tell that person, they'll see it, then they'll show up. Because I've had it times where I almost thought, man, I got to cancel this ride because they're not standing here, nobody's communicating, and then they pop up and they say it was somebody's mom or it was somebody's kid or whatever. They had ordered the ride for them, so they were messaging them, let them know where it's at. So always be mindful of those little things. Usually if they're going to cancel, they'll cancel, but if they start that ride, there should be no issue, but be wary of those issues. Only had it happen one time, but one time was aggravating because I wasted my time Then I did pick up another ride, still made some money. So if you're at the airport doing a ride like that, if they cancel or something like that happens, you could still pick somebody else up. Hopefully you'll get either a better ride or you'll make back what you were trying to make in the first place. But at this point in time, I would suggest you shouldn't be worried about your tier level. So if you have to cancel, it should not matter. Back when I had to cancel, I was worried about that. I'm not worried about that no more. And I've already showed you guys, I was 3-time diamond, and there is no difference between when I was diamond and now, except for I drive less and I make more money, because I don't have to deal with all the BS. I'm not stressed out. It's perfect. I mean, there's no reason not to cherry pick. Yeah, you're not going to get unicorns all the time, but if you use a strategy, if you do it smart, I do think reservations help. They definitely come in handy. Are they all good? No. So you have to pay attention and see what you got. And you'll see right here, it's showing your reserve trip, all that stuff. It'll pop up. That reserve trip stuff will pop up over and over and over. It's gonna show, oh, you got a reserve trip, you got a reserve trip. See all these right here? It shows all that stuff. It keeps popping up. 941, oh, you got a reserve. See, those are all the reserve reminders that let you know that it's early, that it's late, all that stuff. So that's why it tracks it. That's why it lets you know. It's going to remind me. It's going to call me when I'm not online, but I'm going to go drive around for a little bit. And then when it gets closer to time, I'll stop the ride, or once I drop them off, I'll go offline and see if it calls me. I'll try to record that call so you guys have it so you can hear it. It ain't nothing special. All it does is say Uber, oh, hey, you have a reservation at so-and-so. It'll be 45 minutes. It will call you. You're not supposed to be online till 30 minutes. But if you're not online, it will send that ride to somebody else, and you will get a strike for it. That will hurt you if you are trying to do reservations. So always keep that in mind. Don't fall asleep and forget about it. Don't take it. Don't just turn your phone off, all that stuff. If you're gonna do that, if you know you can't get to it, if you fall asleep or if your phone's gonna die, whatever, just cancel the reservation. Let somebody else take it so it doesn't hurt you, so you're still available for reservations in the future. You can not take the reservation. You can cancel the reservation with plenty of time and it'll still give you other reservations. But if you wait too long and cancel, it will stop giving to you. Now for me, I never did that, so I don't know why it stopped giving to me for a while. I just figured people weren't ordering them as much, but now they're starting to pop up again. I don't know if Uber's algorithm, what it was, because I think maybe I wasn't working so late at night. Now I am more often, so now it's knowing my habits again. Now it's starting to give me those reservations, because there was a pretty good time where I was working more during the day, wasn't working those late night reservations, and sometimes it would give me some, I wouldn't take them, and then it just stopped sending them to me. So if you want to do reservations, when it sends you some ones that are decent, take them, complete them, it'll give you more of them. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe, because it does help. I got a lot more people. It's starting to grow, just trying to help you guys. Still trying to drive. I still got to make money while I do these videos, while I edit the videos, upload. It's a lot of work, but hey, I got nothing else to do but work. So I'm going to continue to keep bringing content. I'm going to continue to keep making videos. I'm going to continue to get better at making videos, and I do appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Also, if you want to check out that Gridwise app, I do appreciate it, guys. It is an affiliate link. This is a paid promotion. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. So when you have a reservation, you've got to be online for 30 minutes early. And if you're not online 10 minutes before that 30 minutes, so 40 minutes, Uber is going to call you like they did. I'll record a call here in a little bit so you can hear what it says. It reminds you have a ride. So once you're online 30 minutes early, if it's not an airport reservation, that means I'm going to be there, and probably it's 6:10. I'm right around the corner. They're probably going to give me and another 5 minutes, have me pull up. I'll be about 10 minutes early. So anytime it's just a normal reservation, maybe going to the airport or something like that, you're going to be there probably 10 or 15 minutes early, so be prepared for that. Now, if you're going to the airport and you have an airport reservation, that airport reservation gives them 35 minutes of time to get off that plane and to grab their luggage, but they have to start the ride, so sometimes they get more than 35 minutes. Sometimes it might be 45 minutes. That plane plane could be delayed, whatever. So you have to plan accordingly. If it's too late at night, cancel early enough so somebody else will get it, because it can be an inconvenience for those riders. If you feel like you made enough money, you don't want to stay out that late, well then just cancel it. But those reservations can be a good boost to your earnings. Now, not always. Now, if you'll look, I had $35 for 38 miles. It's comfort. It's almost $1 a mile. Hopefully this person will tip, so that makes a difference. The other one is 25. It's $1 a mile for Uber, and that's coming at 9:30 at night. So that's the difference. Is the reservations are usually more money. What it is it doesn't really cost the rider more money if they book it far enough in advance, but they pay us more of a cut because Uber wants us to be there, and they like people booking reservations because it's guaranteed money, especially when it coming from an airport. So reservations usually pay more money. They're usually worth it, but you have to be careful. Sometimes they're not. And then you got to remember, if you're driving a long distance, you might have to drive back empty, and if it's late at night, you have to factor all that in. So the good thing about having a reservation is you can take that reservation and then you can get 2 hours closer to it, and if you make enough money or something changes, you can cancel that reservation. But if it's 30 minutes before that reservation, just like right now, it's 6:11, if I cancel that reservation, it will penalize me for it, and if you get to like 3 different ones, it will ban you from using that. Now, I never got to that point. I don't know, they just stopped giving me reservations for whatever reason. I think because my driving patterns changed, because Uber knows what type of patterns, what times you drive, what areas you drive, how often you drive, so they know all that data, and they'll send you reservations. They never send me reservations at 5 o'clock in the morning to take somebody to the airport, because they know I am not driving that early in the morning. Never once have I got one. They don't do it. Late night reservations, they give them to me all the time, or they used to. They started doing it again. Why? Because the other night I took one, I completed it, and now they're giving me more. That's why I did it. I almost canceled it because I was making some money. There was a surge. I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to stay here this late for it. I did it anyways. Now they're popping up again. I like reservations, but you got to remember, depending on where you live, where those reservations, where that airport is, it could be a difference. See, right now is what happens. It says time to head to your 6:30 reservation. It is 6:13, and I am literally only 7 minutes from that reservation. So that goes to show you how it works with the reservations. That's why I was making the video while I was waiting, because I wanted to show you guys this is how it works when you go to the reservation. And it'll show you all that stuff. It will show what you got. See preferences. It's going to say quiet preferred, cool temperatures. That's because it's a comfort ride. It gives them those options. That's a good thing about the comfort rides, is the fact people put quiet preferred. Good. All right, you don't want to talk, that's fine. I don't care. At least I already know that. I don't have to sit there and try to read you or do all that. And honestly, most times when they do that, they always end up talking to me, because they just do that because they're not sure who they're going to get, and they just, some people, they try to fill them out to see if they actually want to talk to them or not. Some people are like that, or it's just because they give them that feature so they want to use it. So now I basically just got out of this thing and didn't realize it. I can't even get out of this place. Well, that didn't work out too well, but that's what the reservation feature shows for comfort. Now, if I have UberX, it won't show that. All it's going to show is, oh, you're going to get paid this much for sitting here for this amount of time. Now, if they do cancel that reservation, you do get a decent amount of money. So if you take reservations, they cancel, then it's worth it. Now, don't do nothing to where they have to cancel, because if you don't show up, you will get penalized and you will get in trouble. Uber is going to bug you to make sure that you're there on time. Same way it called me and did all this other stuff. Now I got all this traffic. I was actually trying to do it the easy way, but I'll show you guys a little bit more on this. I got to go pick these people up. I'll explain some more detail how reservations work. What are they worth it? Whether all right, so right now I actually got a reservation. This is the reason why I came up with this, was because actually I haven't had them in a while. I didn't know if people were reserving rides. I always tell my passengers to reserve a ride, because when you're at the airport, anytime. Now let me explain how reservations work. And if you're a rider or a driver, explain to your riders this is the best way for reservations. Now, if you're getting off work and you want to reserve a ride to get home at a certain time, but it's not that far of a trip, do not reserve that trip. You are paying a fee for no reason, because if that reservation pops up for $8, I'm sitting decline. I'm not even going to leave it sitting on there. Now, if I'm driving around and I get a thing pops up and it says reserve ride, and if it's not over $20 or more, I'm not taking it, because then I'm going to have to sit there. It's an inconvenience. It's not worth the money. I'm not doing it. So if you're a rider and you like to reserve rides when you get off work, just when you get off work, go ahead and just don't even worry about it. Just wait till you get off, order the ride, and wait like a normal person. I understand you want to get home, but don't pay a fee for no reason, because no driver's picking it up. And if they have a surge, they're going to be mad because they lost a surge because they weren't paying attention. But right now, I'm in a reserved trip. So reserve rides, short trips, don't do them. But now, if you are landing at an airport anytime, reserve that ride a day ahead of time. Why? Because that way you can beat having a surge, and that way you do pay a little extra because you're reserving a ride, but that surge can almost double or triple at certain airports. I mean, it can go up a lot of money, and if you land late, your plane's delayed, a lot more planes are delayed, that price just goes sky high when you get off that plane. Everybody else trying to order a ride at the same time. So that's why if you book it a day in advance, you're going to most likely get the best price. But please always tip your driver, because this is advice I'm giving you guys. Now, if you're going to the airport, if you want to reserve a ride early in the morning, that's great, because it's early. That way you know you got somebody coming, because there are certain people that do those early morning airport runs. In the afternoon, anytime like that, I wouldn't bother with it. Just order a ride, because you might be paying a fee for no reason. But I have a reservation right now. It is a comfort reservation, and it is at 6:30. It's going to the airport. That's why I took it. Now I actually have another reservation at 9:30 from the airport. Now I've gotten back-to-back airport rides, like drop somebody off, pick somebody else up, because what it does when you land at the airport, it will show your flight number right there. You're going to put that in there. It tracks it. It's going to give me notices every time it changes, whether it's early, whether it's late, whether it's early, whether it's late. It's almost annoying, but that's because it's tracking. I don't really pay attention, but that's why it does that. We have to be online 30 minutes early. Right now it is 6:06, and I got a phone call from Uber, and I'll get a recording of the next phone call, because I'll make sure I'm offline tonight when I have that other reservation, and I'll get a phone call from Uber. You can see right there it says Uber, and what they did was I'll just drop the camera. But what they did was they called to remind me, hey, you have to go online, you got a reservation. Well, no brainer. I know that. I just didn't want to sit online because I didn't feel like going way out somewhere else for no reason for the reservation. It was raining. I was going to take a break anyways. I wasn't too worried about it. But it's supposed to give you rides all the way up to the reservation. Sometimes it sends you in crazy directions. So if it's a good reservation, I'll just pause it a little bit before time, go to that area, and then take off from there. Because if it's a good amount of money, I'm not going to risk somebody getting a multiple stop or deciding they need to do this because they didn't order it correctly and I lose that reservation. I just prepare ahead of time. I took it because I thought, you know what, that's going to be a good one. I might get a tip, I might this or that, and that's why I do it. So anytime you're landing at the airport, order a reservation, but book it a day ahead. If you do it that same day, it's going to probably be more money, probably not worth it. Second thing you want to do for a reservation is if you're at a concert or sporting event. If you're at a football game, if you're at a concert, a lot of people leaving at the same time, book a reservation. It'll save you on a surge. But if you cancel that reservation, it's going to charge you a fee. It's going to charge you a good fee. And I'm going to tell you a story about that. One night, I had a reservation to Orlando at 12:30 at night. Orlando is 2.5 hours away. Now, I took the reservation because I've been working all day. I was making money. I went home and took a nap, knowing that they were going to be late or whatever because I have another app I can track it. Now, they call me and say, is there another Uber around you? I'm like, yes, but they probably have reservations. Well, these people were going from Jacksonville Airport to Orlando when you could have flown into Orlando. I don't know the whole story. It doesn't really make sense, but they had like 7 or 8 people. I can't fit that many people in my car. So the other Uber canceled. Why did they cancel? Because it's a 2.5 hour trip at 12:30 at night. I wasn't going to get home till 5 o'clock in the morning. Only reason I did it was because I made some money that day. I had something to pay. I just wanted that little extra bonus. promise, hoping they tip me, but because it's an expensive ride, sometimes it doesn't happen. Well, they canceled the ride because they couldn't get another Uber. Well, guess what? I got a very good reservation cancellation fee. They called me and let me know, but I had a good reservation fee. Ended up picking up another ride, taking it back towards my house, and made the same amount of money without having to go to Orlando. Does that always happen? No, but I was prepared to go to Orlando. So if you do book that reservation, make sure you don't cancel it. If your flight's delayed to the next day, leave it on there. They'll just get you a new driver, or that driver will still be there, whatever. That way you don't have to pay a fee. I've had people tell me I canceled my earlier reservation because my plane was late. It tracks it for you. So this is advice I'm giving you guys, riders, drivers. I'm giving you advice. Please tip your driver because of all this. Those are the times you want to use a reservation. Don't do it for a short trip. It's not worth it. Nobody's picking it up. You're paying a fee for no reason. So now with reservations, they can book reservations up to 90 days in advance. Now I've had reservation for like a week in advance at the most. I think from what I was done the research that it doesn't pop up for like a month. I don't know how many people actually schedule a reservation 90 days in advance. Most people probably do maybe a week in advance, maybe 2 weeks in advance, but I don't see really people doing 90 days in advance. I don't know. If you do, leave a comment. I'd like to know, but I'm not sure about that. I just know the longest I've had a reservation was been about a week. Now, if they cancel it a couple days later, you're not going to really get a fee, I don't believe. I think it's more so as once you arrive there and you're waiting, then they cancel, or up to a certain amount of time they cancel, then you actually will get a fee. So that's always, you know, same way as if you're going to pick somebody up. If you are on the way, you get to a certain distance to them and they cancel the ride, then you get some money for it because you were on the way, and it kind of pays you for your time, but it's still not worth what that reservation would be. So that's one thing you always got to keep in mind with reservations. Now, what I want to say about reservations, to me, I think they're worth it. Because if not every reservation is worth it. You have to check and look at that price yourself. Not every reservation is worth it. Sometimes that reservation is going to pop up. It's going to be not over $1 a mile. It's not going to be more than what the mileage is. It might be $19 for 30 something miles. So it's not always great. Doesn't mean you always want to take it. So but with a reservation, you can take it, and then you can sit there and look at it and think for yourself, do I want to do it? Where's it going? It gives you time to kind of think about it more so than, you know, just 10 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever that it gives you when you're trying to get a ride. So reservations, you can take it and then you can cancel them. But you got to remember, if you take that reservation, you wait too long to think about it, there's other reservations that might be popping up around that time that you're going to miss out on because you have that reservation. So you always got to remember that. But reservations, I think, are worth it, especially airport reservations, as long as the pay's good. But it doesn't mean I always take them. Sometimes they're not that good. I just hit decline. I probably decline about as many reservations as I take, because a lot of them are either just too short, they're not worth the pay. Some of them are just not worth the pay, period, or they're going in a direction I don't want to go. I've had reservations trying to go to Savannah. I've had reservations going to Tampa, reservations going to Orlando that just weren't good. I didn't take them because I wasn't going in that direction, or I didn't feel like driving that far, even for that amount of money. Now, if you would have seen that YouTube short when I had a trip to go to Tampa for $99, I've had reservations for $175 to go to Tampa, and I didn't take them. Then it sent me back another one for $134. I didn't take it, because I'm definitely not taking $134 if I didn't take $175, because it was 168 miles, but I have to drive that back to empty. Nobody's going to get a ride back there. Now, if I go to Orlando, I might do it because it's closer. I can work there for a little bit. Maybe I'll get a ride back, or maybe I get a ride to Daytona. I don't know. But Tampa, I never really dealt with because it's just way too far. It's not worth it. So sometimes you got to just weigh out the reservation, but you can take it and then take your time to think about it. So you don't have to rush. But you got to keep in mind, if you do take it, it could disappear, or you could lose chances out on other reservations. So, and if you take the reservation and cancel, they're not going to send it back to you for more money. You probably won't get that offer again if nobody picks it, or if they change the price on it. So always remember that.